We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society, in everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is not to take that first drug. If you're like us, you know that one is too many and 1,000 never enough. We put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we came to NA, many of us viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug.
You are.
It is. We are people with the disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover.
Yeah!
Come on now!
Well, our fifth tradition states that our primary purpose is to carry the message of recovery to the addict who still suffers. Please try to focus on the similarities, not the differences. Make sure that your phones are on silent or turned off. And if you do smoke, it's out the back, not at the front. And the kitchen is now closed. If you have any drugs or paraphernalia with you, please take them out of the room. Bring yourself back in. And while the speakers are sharing, can everyone remain in your seat and be mindful of the noise during the meeting? So with that, remembering to switch the dictaphone on. It's convinced I was going to figure out. It's not working. Alright, if someone wants to sort that out, then I can kick it off then.
Don't wait on me. I think it's up. Say that again, I didn't hear it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Frankie. Now over to David.
My name's David, I'm an addict. Woo! Yeah, it's good to be here. It's great to be clean, man. I'm really glad that I'm not using. I don't know about no one else, but I'm grateful I'm not using. I'm grateful I'm not doing the shit that I used to do to use. I'm grateful I'm not hurting the people I used to hurt. I'm grateful I'm not making fake promises and breaking them. I'm grateful I'm not degrading and humiliating myself for one more. It just says it, black and white, guys. Grateful addict will never use. Grateful addict will never use. It says in our literature, as long as we maintain an attitude of thankfulness for being clean, we find it easier to remain clean. That's been my experience. As long as I maintain that attitude of gratitude for being clean, it's easier to remain clean. So, just trying to warm up, man, just settle the nerves. Got a lot to say, got a lot of energy, my spirit's jumping up, down, so it's kind of like good to be here. I'm kind of one of these loud, proud, recovering addicts. I want to shout Narcotics Anonymous on the rooftops. Really, really pleased with what you've done for me and how my life's changed since being a member here. Thank you, Suffolk and Norfolk area, for the invitation to speak here and for putting this great day on. And thanks for the real warm welcome and for the act of generosity that's really touched me. Really, really touched me. And it's really important that I feel wanted and loved here, and I do. And I didn't for a long time. I still always want to not that. I stand up because I learned that sooner or later we stand for something or fall for anything. I stand up as a proud member of Narcotics Anonymous. I stand up for the newcomer. I stand up as a proud member of my home group. We meet every Friday in Leamington Spa. If you're ever in the vicinity, please pop in, we'll make you feel more than welcome. I was told, get a home group or you might end up homeless again. It's the most important place to me. I've been everywhere, I've been all over the world, and there's no place like home. There's no place like home. So, welcome anyone that's new to Narcotics Anonymous. I'd like just to kind of really, really make sure you get a proper welcome if you haven't received one yet. So anyone, please, this isn't to embarrass you. This is just, I really want you to get the same welcome I got here. So if you're in your first year of recovery, please stand up, make yourself known. Let's give you a proper welcome. Welcome to Narcotics Anonymous. You're in for a treat. You are the most important people here, and I really, 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 really hope that you've been made to feel that way. You're the lifeblood of our fellowship. We can only keep what we've got by giving it away. You're where we give it. We need you. We're glad you're here. We're glad you came. We hope you come back. We hope that you embrace our fellowship. We hope you embrace sponsorship. We hope you would ask someone to sponsor you. And we hope you allow them to take us through our 12 steps. So you too can experience a spiritual awakening and get the only one promise that we offer in NA. Right? One promise in here, and that's freedom from active addiction. Yeah? The literature said it's the solution that eluded us for so long. The solution that eluded us for so long. So please keep coming back. We need you. So, you know, when I speak, it's like I really want to be able to touch someone. You know, I really want to get through all that nonsense and hit your heart. You know, I really kind of, I ask for my higher power's guidance that I can like touch your heart or touch your spirit or inspire you or spark something inside you that was sparked inside of me when I came. Because the literature says that the quintessential spirit that lies inside each one of us, the spark of life, almost extinguished by our disease, it's been renewed through working the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. Living Clean says that we fan the flame of desire. Somebody sparked something off in me in here. And what's happened is you guys have fanned that flame of desire through your love and your generosity. And now it burns brightly, man. I feel like I'm shining. I feel alive through our programme. And as our literature says, I'm spiritually refreshed and glad to be alive. And it wasn't that way when I came. It really weren't. I rolled up in NA, 7 stone, no teeth, yellow, and thought I looked good. Thought, you know, like, started like smiling at people straight away, like thinking that I'd find a wife here, you know, and. The description of how I was before I came here is not a badge of honour. It's just my truth, okay? It's just how it was for me at the end. It's really sad how it ended up. Really, really sad. And I thought NA was the only place in the world that the worse it was for you, the more you qualify. So I proceeded to tell big stories. You know, like, really, like I was a member of Over Exaggerators Anonymous. You know, and it wasn't until I was a few years clean that someone told me, how about you share your small stories? They hold more weight. And my mum wrote me a letter, and I found it yesterday, and I read it, and just out of the blue. And it said, she said to me in this letter that I would come in your room each night and I'd see you on the floor, comatose, and I'd see you suffering, and I'd see the torture, and I'd see pain, and I'd pray to God that He'd take you while I was asleep at night. And then she said, I'd come in your room in the morning, and I'd see you were still there, and I'd hit my knees, and I'd thank Him that He never took you. And they're my small stories, and I got lots of them. So I really learnt about, it's not about the big stories. We don't care what or how much you used, who your connections were, what they've done in the past, how much or how little you got. All we care about is what you want to do about your problem, how we can help. So if you've got a story similar to mine, keep coming back. And if you ain't, keep coming back. Because it says in the basic text that newcomers will often look for evidence to disprove addiction and disqualify themselves from recovery. I did that. That's something that I did. Living Clean says that when we start noticing differences more than similarities, it's a red flag indicating a discomfort within ourselves. A good friend of mine says, if you look for the similarities, you'll find a reason to stay. If you look for the differences, you'll find an excuse to leave. So if you please listen up and listen for some similarities. And there's something about why I stand too is that I came to NA governed by shame. You know, everything within me said, you're unacceptable. You're not okay. When I rolled up here, I bought a baseball cap so I could hide in meetings. I felt transparent. I thought you could see what I'd ended up doing to get one more. And more importantly, I thought you could see how I felt about me. And it terrified me. It really, really frightened me. And I really enjoyed what you had to say earlier. And the word that you used that really hit me was wounded. Because, my wounded child came to Narcotics Anonymous. I brought him with me, and I look around and I just see lost kids in NA, and I found healing here. And I'm finding more and more healing as I progress in my recovery. But my story is one of shame. One of if you really see who I am, if I let you in, you'll laugh and you'll point and you'll ridicule me. And my greatest fear is one of being shamed, one of being exposed. So I learned through the 6th step that they grow in the dark and die in the light of exposure. So if I allow you to see me, then I can allow the love that I need to heal in. As long as I'm hidden, the part of me that's hidden is the part that needs your love and your generosity. So I'm learning how to let others in here, in NA. So, by the time I got here, as I said, I'll give you a description of how it was for me. I didn't stumble into the fellowship room with honesty, open-mindedness and willingness, okay? It wasn't that way for me. I wasn't happy, joyous and free. I was really scared. I was really, really scared. I had no idea of how to live in this world. I'd picked up as a child, I'd put down at 28 years old, and I woke up in a world I knew nothing about. I knew nothing about living, and it was terrifying. So I got a sponsor, and I made meetings. I kept making meetings, more and more meetings. I was at a meeting every day, because I had nowhere else to go, and I was really, really frightened. And things started shifting slowly. I got into service. Service has really been helpful for me. It says in the 12 steps that we attend meetings and make ourselves visible and available to serve the fellowship. It says that we give freely and gratefully of our time and what we have found here. It says the more eagerly we wade in, the richer our spiritual awakening will be. This isn't mine. Everything I'm saying is in our literature. I'm not passing it off as mine. I'd like to. But it's in our literature. The more eagerly we wade in, the richer our spiritual awakening will be. And all spiritual awakenings have got something in common. It's got it here. An enter a sense of purpose and direction in our life. Check. An enter loneliness. Check. An uncontrollable bouts of smiling. Check. My spirit has been awoken through the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. I came here spiritually dead. I despised me when I rolled up here. I thought I was an obscenity that needed to be eradicated. Even the thought of you hugging me petrified me. But, as it says in our literature, it's so nice. It's so lovely. You know, recovery becomes a contact process. We lose the fear of touching and of being touched. We learn that a simple, loving hug makes all the difference in the world when we feel alone. We lose the fear of touching and of being touched. I don't know about anybody else, right? But like all the advice, all the best intentions, all the wisdom, all the experience, all the literature in the world doesn't come near a simple loving hug. There's something about when you hold me, I feel comforted and I feel soothed. My sponsor puts his arms around me, holds me, and I just... And that's what I look for in my using. I look for ease and comfort. Yeah? I really see my use as an attempt at holding me together. Because I felt so fragmented. You know, I felt like the fabric of who I was, that there was a few poles missing out the scaffolding. And I just needed something to keep me together. I looked for something to help soothe and comfort me, because I couldn't do it for myself. So when I came to NA, and still now here, when I'm held and when I'm touched and when I'm nurtured and when my spirit's nourished, it's what I need. So I really encourage you all that if you see something in someone that you admire, if you see an asset or a quality or something about someone that you think, I really like, tell them. Let them know. Fan the flame of desire. We replace a negative sense of self with a positive concern for others. We love each other back to life in NA. It's all about love and service. It's in our Living Clean, it says that. Love and service. You know, when I came, there was no way you were going to get close. My experience is like, let anyone near, they'll hurt you. They'll abuse you. You know, when I grew up, I'm the youngest of 4. My parents are good people. They tried their best. They were poorly equipped. I got something because I'm here, but I didn't get enough. But when I was born in this world, innocent, like all children are, and it's beautiful to see kids here. It really is. You know, I was born in this world innocent. The essence of me is good. And when we speak about restoration of the second step, when restoration means restoring it to its previous state. You restore something. So the essence of me is good. So I'm being restored to that here. I got contaminated. Man. So something cancerous grew inside of me, and it spread, and it was like venom. And that's not who I am. I'm a good man. You're not going to get a message of I'm defective, I'm flawed. You ain't getting that. You're getting, I'm getting better. I'm a good guy. I'm a good husband. I'm a good son. I'm a good dad. I'm a good friend. I'm a good sponsor. I'm try. I turn up. I do my best. I'm consistent. I'm reliable. I learned all this here. I'm a decent human being. I'm trying. I'm getting better. I'm turning up. And I'm really passionate about that because I feed myself shit sometimes. I live with this this real venom and persecution within me. I shame myself. I've got a voice that's so critical. Never paid me a compliment. Never said anything nice about me or you. You know, and I really need to feed my spirit. And I hope I feed yours too. So, some things happened to me that shouldn't have happened to me when I was a child, when I was innocent. And all of a sudden I weren't innocent anymore. And what happened then is then the voice started, the dialogue kicked in. They'll find out if they only knew that. You're gay. And I'm not saying that I'm heterosexual, and I'm not saying that gay is not okay. I'm really not saying that. But what I'm saying is I grew up in a racist, homophobic family. So when my internal dialogue is saying you're gay, what I'm telling myself is I'm not acceptable. I'm not okay. The essence of me is flawed. And this is a child. This is my start in life. So I came in quite damaged, you know, quite scarred. And there's some work to do. I don't know what work you got to do. I know what I've got to do. I know that I can't move forward unless I look back. I know that we've got different rates of recovery and different levels of sickness in here, and some of us need more love than others. You know? I know that the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. And I know that it works how I says, because it says that because the only requirement for membership is a quality that cannot be measured. Yeah? I can't measure your desire. My right to judge it is denied me. Okay? So if you're here and you've got a desire to stop using, welcome. And if you're here and you're using, welcome. And if you're back from a relapse, I want to let you know that the shame is in not relapsing, the shame is in not coming back. It says in our literature that people that relapse might think that we don't understand, as a fellowship, the courage it takes to come back from one, and that we must applaud that type of courage heartily. We're passionate about NA. The message. What is the message? I hear people, the message, what is it? Any addict can stop using, lose a desire to use, and find a new way to live. The message is hope, and the promise is freedom. The message is that no addict seeking recovery need die. That working our steps is the best form of defence against a relapse, and that we have never seen anyone live the Narcotics Anonymous programme relapse. It's not mine. It's not mine. It's in our literature. And just something happens. Something happens. Yeah? It's like, it's okay. It's okay. We all speak differently. Yeah? This is who I am. Yeah? It's not a performance. This is me. This is what you get. You know? I can't be what I think you want me to be. I can only be me. Diversity is our strength. So yeah, good to be clean, man. Great to be clean. You know, fucking hell, man. My gratitude is directly based on the depth of despair that I felt before I came to Narcotics Anonymous. If it hadn't been so shit, it wouldn't be so good. It's as simple as. The desperation and despair, I sought help from you guys here. So like I said, what went on in my childhood kept me hid. Close me up. Don't trust. Don't tell no one nothing. Don't let anyone close. Live my life that way. hungry when I came here, man. Starving. Really hungry for love. I searched for love in some cold places, man. In all the wrong places, with all the wrong people. Yeah. So yeah, if you're new, I really want to encourage you to find a sponsor. I really hope that you embrace sponsorship. It says in our literature that those who get the most out of Narcotics Anonymous are those to whom sponsorship is important. Those that get the most out of the Narcotics Anonymous program are those to whom sponsorship is important. It says that sponsorship responsibilities are welcomed by us and seen as an opportunity to enrich our personal NA experience. It says that we mustn't lose sight of the importance of sponsorship and of taking a special interest in a confused addict that wants to stop using. My sponsor took a special interest in me, a confused addict that wanted to stop using. I'm really, really touched that someone would do that. It really touched me when you spoke about the guys. They noticed you. You know, I spent a long time hidden, not wanting to be seen and noticed. So yeah, my sponsor took that special interest in me. And I take a special interest in others. It's like the literature just kind of keeps coming because I read it. I don't claim to be an authority. I just read it and it's there. It's just here. It's in here. It's in my heart. It says in there that we must remain open-minded and willing to do that one extra thing vital for our recovery. It says we must be willing to go to one extra meeting, stay on the phone one extra minute, and help a newcomer stay clean one extra day. Fuck it all in there. You know, and I try to live my life this way. Then we'll read it this morning. What was it on? Anyone? Yeah, man. When we understand our need to be forgiven, we're more willing to forgive. Beautiful. Really, really lovely. Through the 9th step, them words have really got meaning inside for me. When I understand my need to be forgiven, I'm more willing to forgive. I understand my need to be forgiven through the 8th and the 9th step. Through what I did. I don't know about no one else, man, but the people closest to me were hurt the most. And when I got clean, it was those people I want to do the least for. My sponsor said, it's great, Dave, that you go to meetings and that you work with the newcomer and buy them a book and tell them to keep coming back. And it's great, and keep doing it. But why don't you go home and, practice that there? You go home and give your mum a hug. Why don't you go home and be visible and available? No, it's like show, don't tell. You're hungry, right?
Don't tell me, show me.
Don't tell me, show me. Response. Close. Most powerful message is the message of example. That's what our literature says. Talk's cheap. I speak from experience. Yeah, I do. I kind of I came and started mouthing off straight away. Talk's cheap. The most powerful message is the message of example. Living Clean says, more than often, the brilliance is in what we see, not what we hear. Show, don't tell. So, what I learn, I'm able to take home with me. Because I have a family now. I have a wife. I have a little boy. He's 2. He's a... You know, like, I've never felt as touched in my life as I do when I'm with my boy. It's so powerful for me. And he's having a different experience than I had. And that's really important for me. I really care about that. And my wife's a wonderful woman. I thought happiness had passed me by. I thought it was never going to be, the sun was never going to shine for me. And if you're struggling, I want you to know something. And I want to let you know what it says in the literature, that it's always darkest before the dawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. At its blackest, the sun will shine again. Just hold on, keep coming back, keep talking, keep reaching out. Let us help you. Let us help you. So, like, a few years clean, 8th and 9th step, lots of wreckage, lots of pain, lots of hurt, and man, the healing that I found, the repair, that's the power of the forgiveness. I made amends to my mum. Here's a small story for you. When I made amends to my mum, I told her 8 steps says amends is a 2-stage process. First of all, we say sorry for what we did. Second of all, it's followed up with a serious change of behaviour. Amends means change. So 2 years in, it was kind of like, okay, feel like it's the right time now. Reason for I didn't do it before that, didn't have the sincerity, didn't have the vocabulary, and everyone had heard it again and again and again and again. So when I said to my mum, I'm really sorry, you know, I'm so sorry, Mum, for what it was like for you, for what I did, and for what I put everybody through, and for what you had to experience. I never ever meant to do that. Step 1, basic text. We learn that drugs have the power to turn us into someone that we didn't want to be. I'm not that guy. I never wanted to be that person. Drugs turned me into the person that I didn't want to be. Powerlessness, using against our will. And she turned around and she told me when I made amends to her one of the worst memories of my using. One of the things that haunted her. And I was on another prison sentence. It was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years before I got clean. And they brought me out on a visit, and I'd had all my hair shaved off, and I had no teeth, and I was yellow, 7 stone, looking good. And I had these prison-issued jeans on that was too big for me, and my shoelace was the belt, kept them up, and I had these shit flickers on, and I had this shirt 3 times too big. Sad, man. And I walked out onto the visit, and it was behind the glass, and she told me how it was when she put her hand on the glass, and she cried. And there was not a thing she could do for me, her innocent child that she brought into this world. And the look in her eye is still with me today. And that's powerlessness. Everything within her wanted to do something for me and she couldn't. And that was one of her memories of my using. And I allowed her to tell me that. And she got some healing through that too. We cried. We cried and we held each other. I've cried tears of joy in recovery in my family. Many, many tears of joy. They cried many tears of desperation in my using. I've seen my father cry 5 times in his life. First time I seen my dad cry is when I was in a detox unit and I couldn't get clean. And my mum and dad came to visit me, and my mum held me on the bed, and I like a child, and I wept and wept and wept and wept. And I looked up and my father was stood there just crying. You know, like, second time I seen him cry was when I got clean. Beautiful. Tears of joy. You're back. We're so pleased you're back. Third time I seen him cry is when I graduated from university. Lots of things have happened. Fourth time is when I got married. Fifth time is when my son was born. So can you hear the joy? The things that happen, newcomers. If you stay clean, if you keep coming back, if you get a sponsor, if you do the work, if you find a loving and caring higher power, if you stay here. We only offer freedom from active addiction. My experience is more things have happened for me. And I don't know why it can't be that way for you too. I don't know what your dreams are, but share them. Living Clean says sharing our successes and our dreams is as important in carrying the message as sharing our difficulties and our struggles. You never know who you're going to touch, who you're going to inspire. Share your achievements, share your successes, because it's a program of attraction rather than promotion. When I came, people were saying, I'm moving forward, I'm getting married, I'm getting a job, I'm making amends, relationships are healing. And I thought, yes, I want some. Please. This sounds like what I want. I want to live my life this way. Because I know, and I always knew, that deep down I was a decent human being. That's what made it so hard. I knew that what I was doing isn't who I was. You know, in the basic text it says that if you've got a day clean, all you've got to do is look in the mirror and the miracle stares back at you. You look in the mirror and the miracle stares back at you. And I can tell you, for many years, I looked in the mirror and a monster stared back at me. A monster. My father described me as that. A monster. And I was. Drugs turned me into someone that I didn't want to be. And now I look in the mirror and a miracle stares back. So if you've got a day clean, man, you're a miracle. You've been blessed. I used to hear, don't leave before the miracle happens. I used to hear that a lot. Don't leave before the miracle happens. Don't leave before the miracle happens. And it was kind of like, I said to my sponsor, when's it going to happen? He said, have you used to say? I said, no. He says, it's already happened, brother. You were so busy looking for it, you missed it. Yeah? Gratitude is not a mood, it's a course of action. It's an expression. That doesn't do it for me. I've got to turn up. I've got to show it. I've got a service position. I sponsor guys. I've got a sponsor. I do my best. I turn up. I try. I go out my way. You know, and that's just how it is for me. I can't lose sight of why I'm stood here with what I've got in my life. Okay? I'm not saying that you need to do what I do. I'm not saying you need to do service. I'm just telling you what I do and what works for me and how my life's changed. I made amends to my father the same year as I made amends to my mother. And it was Christmas Day and it was snowing. And my mum and dad live out in a village in the middle of nowhere. And my father said, I'm going to take the dog for a walk. And I thought, this is my chance. You know, seize the moment. And I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make amends to my dad. And so we went for a walk together. And we went over these fields. And it was Christmas Day and there was not a soul around. I mean, nothing and no one, apart from me and my father, in the middle of this field with snow everywhere. And I turned to him, and I said, Dad, I said, I'm really sorry for what I put you through and for what I did to our family. And I don't think I'll ever know really what it was like for you. But I'm still really sorry. And he said, it's okay. It's all right. We're glad you're back. And as he said it, this big swan flew over. And that really meant something to me. It really meant something to me. I really still hold that in my heart. And I was fortunate enough to speak overseas a few years back on amends. And when I was asked to speak on this topic, I thought, oh, that's really nice, I'm really glad. And I got in my car, and I was driving, I live in Stratford-upon-Avon, so I was driving over the bridge, over the river, to go and tell all my home group members of the joy that I felt, because I was going to go abroad and speak. And as I drove over the bridge, this big swan flew over. And they're just small things, little stories. They're my little stories. It means something to me. A couple of years later, I picked my dad up from the airport, and he was sat in the car, and I was driving him home, and I felt the need to go, do you know what, Dad? He says, what? I says, I'm still really sorry. And he went, when are you going to let it go? It's okay. It's all right. And I learnt about self-forgiveness then. Don't matter if you say it's okay. Don't matter if you forgive me. I've got to get to a place inside on my own where I let go and forgive myself. My name wasn't on my 8th step. I thought that much of me, right, that my name wasn't even on the list. My sponsor said, get it on the list. What about what you did to you? What about the self-abuse and self-neglect and shit you did to you? I wouldn't wish what I did to me, right, on my worst enemy. I really mean that. I really genuinely mean that. What I ended up doing to me. So the process of amends and self-forgiveness and investing in me and nurturing me and caring for me and doing shit that's good for me. Because when I don't, I pay the price. I might not know it straight away, but it chips at my spirit. I don't think too much of me now. My brother, I talk about my brother, you know, like I made amends to my brother, my eldest brother, who I admired, who I kind of idealised, who I wanted to be like him, a good man. In my using, I learned to hate him. It's really sad. I had nothing, my heart was black. There was nothing but venom in my veins. I despised this guy who I admired. I was consumed with hate and resentment. It's cancer. Through the process of the 4th step, I uncovered the absurdity of it. Through the process of the 9th step, I found forgiveness. And the power of that step, right, I just need to say that the feeling was reciprocal with my brother. Rightly so. But through the process of amends, when I got married, 5 years in recovery, my brother was my best man. Okay? So I asked him if he would stand next to me and be my best man on the most important day of my life. And he wept and said, I'd love to. So I'm just saying, the power of our program, the power of forgiveness, when we understand our need to be forgiven, we're more willing to forgive. You know, like we don't shoot our wounded in NA. Like I said, well, some of us need a little bit more love than others. There's no model of recovering addict. You know, it says it in there. When the drugs go and the addict works the program, wonderful things happen. Lost dreams awaken. New possibilities arise. Our literature is amazing. Lost dreams awaken. They have. New possibilities have arisen. You know? Been to university. You know? Developed. Found some growth. Found some passion. Found some purpose. Found some meaning in my life. Found some direction. All things that I didn't have. Kept coming back. Kept getting support and encouragement. Kept getting loved. Got dreams. Got things I want to do. Got places I want to see. Want to be the best husband, the best father that I can be. It's really important to me. If I'm not here, if I'm not connected, if I'm not talking to a sponsor, if I'm not reading our literature, if I've not got a loving, caring, higher power in my life, I revert to type. It says it in our literature that we revert back to our sickest behaviour patterns without even having to use drugs. You know? It says it, and that's my experience. I get like, I can be really hard work to be around if I'm not engaged. You know? But also I can be really lovely to be around. I can be really supportive. I can be really kind. I can be really gentle. I've learned that I'm really sensitive. You know? And I like that. I like my sensitivity. And so do the people I hang around with. You know, I have really good people in my corner. I choose carefully. People that are good for my spirit. You know, people that I trust. People that I trust. It's really important for me. So yeah, I'm learning to be a dad. You know what? You know how it is for me. When I see how my wife is with my son. My wife's in recovery. Okay, she goes elsewhere, which is great. She goes to a fellowship that our basic text says we're grateful for. Yeah, she goes there, and like my boy is such a lucky boy. He's such a lucky boy that he's got two parents that are present. You know, that are able to give him what he needs. But when I see her with him, and how lovely she is with him, and how nurturing, and how gentle, and how she delights in him, like all kids need, right? They need to be delighted in. When I see that, sometimes it makes me feel so sad, because it brings up what wasn't there for me. It really hits me sometimes. Really, really, really does. So I'm drying up. I don't know how long I spoke for, but yeah, I think like 40 minutes maybe, I don't know. I'll tell you what I will say, that in the sixth step, it says the sincerity in which we work this step will be proportionate to our desire for freedom. And I think that encompasses the whole Narcotics Anonymous program. That's the sincerity in which we work this program will be proportionate to our desire for freedom. So when I came, it was kind of like I said, how free do I want to be? Do I want to be a slave? The literature says that we were prisoners of our own mind, condemned by guilt. And I told you earlier that it says that we will be set free from our self-made prisons. And I have. But I've had to do some work. And I'm having to do some work. You know, it's like, I'm not the finished article, I'm not sorted. You know, it's like, it's not a done deal. My sponsor says, don't take your L plates off. That's his favourite saying, don't take your L plates off, Dave. And they're on. You know, I'm learning. But I've got, what a great, rich environment to learn with some real, wise, wonderful, experienced individuals who are living clean, who are living and enjoying life without the use of drugs, who have found a new way to live. A new way to live. So, like, if you're new, you've hit the jackpot. You fucking really have, man. We have found a new way to live in Narcotics Anonymous. We are living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. You can too. Lost dreams really do awaken. I'm going to close. But I want to close on a piece of the literature. There's something about, I mentioned the sixth step, and there's something about, there's so much I've got to say. And I mentioned the sixth step, and I fall short, I make mistakes, I get it wrong. And the seventh step says humility is our sense of our humanness. Okay? It's knowing we've got good things, attributes, assets, and knowing that we come up short in areas of our life. It's a sense of our own humanness. Yeah? I get things wrong. And the sixth step in It Works How and Why says, even after years of recovery, we might feel disillusioned at the reappearance of some old defective character we thought had been removed. It says, no matter how diligently we work this programme, we'll never reach the pinnacle of spiritual awareness, or something like that. It says in that book that we smile at our delusions of perfection. You know, we are humbled by our imperfection. But it says that humility is an ideal state for an addict to be in. It's as important to staying clean as food and water is to staying alive. And what I mentioned about my brother and my mother and my father and lots of other people that I hurt, okay? The amends process has freed me up. It's allowed me to move forward. It's allowed me to not stay stuck in the past. And it says in the ninth step, and It Works How and Why, it says the past is the past. It says it no longer hovers on the edge of our thoughts, waiting for a chance to haunt our present. A chance to haunt our present. It says the extended nightmare of our addiction is finally beginning to fade into the dawning light of our recovery. Beautiful. The extended nightmare of my addiction is finally beginning to fade into the dawning light of my recovery. Through the ninth step, through the amends process. Freedom. Freedom that I've found here in Narcotics Anonymous. Words seem inadequate. They really do. So yeah, great to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I've really enjoyed it. I'm really thankful for the warm welcome that I've received. If you're new here, keep coming back. Stay. You know, stay. You know, please get what you deserve. Yeah? Get the full reward of this programme. So this is what I'm going to end on. It says, in more will be revealed on page 103. It says, since the beginning of our recovery, we have found that joy does not come from material things, but from within ourselves. we find that when we lose self-obsession, we are able to understand what it means to be happy, joyous and free. Indescribable joy comes from sharing from the heart. We no longer need to lie to gain acceptance. Narcotics Anonymous offers addicts a program of recovery that is more than just a life without drugs. Not only is this way of life better than the hell that we lived, it is better than any life that we had ever known. Thank you very much.